The sleeve gastrectomy, on the other hand, is an operation on only the stomach. As I mentioned, it is the most commonly performed operation in the United States for weight loss. It avoids some of the risks of gastric bypass and duodenal switch. I would say the step up in terms of risk, when you go from sleeve to gastric bypass, for example, I would say the step up in terms of risk is not all that great, but it is a little bit higher. And that's an advantage for many patients to avoid some of those risks. The one unique risk of sleeve gastrectomy is reflux and heartburn. We talk a lot about that in preoperative evaluation. We are not implanting any device called a sleeve. We are reshaping the stomach into a sleeve shape, leading to early satiety or restriction. As I mentioned, in gastric bypass, we're bypassing a smaller segment of the GI tract compared to the duodenal switch. Specifically in gastric bypass, we're bypassing about 60 centimeters of the small intestine. We divide the stomach into two parts with gastric bypass. The small upper part is called the gastric pouch. It's about the size of an egg. And we bring up a loop of intestine and attach it to the gastric pouch. So food travels down the esophagus into that small gastric pouch and then right into the small intestine. So in both the gastric bypass and the duodenal switch, ultimately we are creating a new alimentary tract or a new pathway for food to follow as it travels down, leading to less absorption of nutrients and calories. Duodenal switch can be a great option for patients carrying quite a bit of extra weight with BMIs greater than 50 to 55, or patients with poorly controlled diabetes. As mentioned, we bypass a greater segment of the GI tract compared to gastric bypass. And it is even more important in those patients that they take protein and vitamin supplementation after surgery. But we've had excellent results with this operation in our poorly controlled diabetic patients and patients carrying a lot of extra weight.